Hey everyone, Greg Barnett, Vice President of Science at the Predictive Index, here to clear up some confusion around the PI cognitive assessment that we've been hearing about lately. The reason we're clearing it up is that the cognitive assessment is used for hiring, and that means misuse has legal implications in many countries, especially the United States. So the two key topics we're going to talk about are subscales and fairness, and we're going to talk about them pretty quickly. With regards to the subscales, just get straight to the point. The PI cognitive assessment only produces one reliable and valid score, and that's the overall score, or the total correct. The subscales, while they look like they're measuring things, aren't. They're not valid or reliable, so they're not producing a meaningful measure of anything. What that means is we can't say that someone who scores 8 out of 8 on numerical reasoning is actually higher on numerical reasoning than someone who scores lower. Right now, they're only useful for understanding the assessment taker experience. And if they're used incorrectly by a client right now, it's probably a good idea to educate them. We don't want people making decisions, hiring decisions based on the wrong information. The second topic is a little more complicated, and that's fairness. While the cognitive assessment is highly valid, it does have a higher likelihood of disparate impact. If you're not familiar with that term, what it means is it's an assessment that looks neutral on the surface, but nevertheless unfavorably impacts protected groups. So this is something found in other tools. It's not unique to the cognitive assessment, like background checks, skills tests, physical abilities tests, and drug tests. While we provide objective data that does reduce the subjective bias or overt discrimination, the PI cognitive assessment can still lead to unintentional discrimination. So there's risk. It's a very powerful predictor, the most powerful predictor, but there's a higher risk. And so it's a trade-off that clients need to consider. Cognitive may not be for all clients or companies. You can be okay with that. We are. Pre-employment tests themselves are never risk-free. So no matter what we do, we never want to represent that any assessment is litigation-proof or will be definitely found valid by a court. It's just not that simple. So what we do want to focus them on is risk mitigation. And that is using the PI cognitive assessment as only one data point, using the target scoring approach. It's a standardized approach to identifying how much cog demand is needed in a role, and the law looks favorably on standardized approaches versus using arbitrarily set ones. And then look to the PI system features that we're adding. We're keeping cognitive turned off for new clients until they view and acknowledge that they viewed the administrative guide, flagging when cog demand is too low because it may not be for all roles, and helping clients when raters disagree on cog demand. However, ultimately, clients own the legal matters around their hiring processes, whether it's the cognitive assessment, the behavioral assessment, interviews, whatever it is. So we don't need to be their legal counsel on these things. They need to seek out legal counsel when they have questions. Also, the EEOC lays out specific guidelines on how to use tools like cognitive effectively. You conduct a criterion validation study, either before you start using it or if a claim comes in. This establishes job relatedness. That means what cognitive measures is needed in the job. The second thing all clients should be doing is monitoring their selection systems. They should be looking at the protected group pass rates and making sure they're on top of it, not only if they have cognitive, but if their resumes, their interviews, all of the processes. In the end, with great power comes great responsibility. The PI cognitive assessment will help clients hire much better talent and create a business advantage through talent for them, but there is some risk that comes with it, and they need to understand that. There's more information available in the PI Cognitive Administration Guide on the partner portal. Your clients will also be able to access this as well. Thanks so much. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.